Okay, greetings. So I'm going to um, quickly talk about this. I don't know if I'm necessarily talking about the situation or if I'm addressing a very large issue. I'm probably both. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the whole situation with Derrick Jaxn.
They funny.
They're very funny.
They put something in my nose. I don't know what it is.
Who said that?
No, I'm out here.
So I'm gonna address the Derrick Jaxn situation. A lot of people are talking about it and laughing. So for those of you who don't know, which I'm sure there's probably nobody who hasn't seen it, is basically Derrick Jaxn is this relationship guru who has basically spent years on social media empowering black women and telling them certain things about their standards and this and this and this. And basically the other day he got on social media with his wife and he had her hand in a death grip, and he pretty much confessed that he had been cheating, or he had cheated on her for the past year. If I'm Some people say they've been married for 4 years. He just started posting her on social media last year. He's been doing so he's been doing these videos empowering black women, talking about relationships for years. And so if he has been married for more than a year prior to him posting the wedding pictures, I find that very interesting because, when he's so-called empowering black women, he talks about how, like, a man shouldn't be hiding you and he should be giving you the utmost respect and this and this and this. And I don't see why somebody who is talking about relationships and their health and all this kind of stuff would hide their wife for 3 or 4 years. But I thought they'd only been married a year. I could be wrong. But anyways, so a lot of people are talking about how, like, just the body language that they picked up on the videos, right? And it's very clear, if you ask me. Now, I'm going to speak from somebody who has dealt with a raging narcissist before, and then I've also dealt with somebody who's a covert narcissist, and I've dealt with a few people who have exhibited some behaviors very similar to narcissism, but I can't really fully say that they're narcissists, but I know I have dealt with at least two, no, really three in my lifetime. To be honest, it does seem like an issue that is very rampant amongst men who take on patriarchy very strongly because they just feel like everything about them is perfect and nothing could be wrong about them. So they take on a very narcissistic attitude. But I don't think everybody has NPD, like the actual diagnosis of it, but they may have narcissistic tendencies. This situation does seem very narcish. A lot of people are making that statement. They've picked up on that. And one of the things I know about narcissists is they love to publicly humiliate other people. Whether it be them posting about them on social media, doing the whole flying monkey thing and contacting the other person's friends and family and peers and their job and bad mouthing them or trying to get other people to think that they're a bad person. But another form of public humiliation that I know I've dealt with dealing with the narcissists that I've dealt with in my life is public humiliation. And there's this thing with humbling the other person. Like, that is like one of the things they get off on. The raging narcissist that I dealt with, that was something that I heard that person say a lot to me, was humble yourself. You're wearing too much makeup, or you're why are you wearing that? Like, it was always something to try to, like, bring me down to size. And okay, so a lot of people are posting pictures of his wife and like how she looks on her other social media pages and how she used to look and stuff like that versus how she looked in the interview. All of that is intentional, whether it's publicity like PR or whatever. All that's intentional. When I first started dealing with both of the narcissists, 3 or 4 of the narcissists that I dealt, well, I'll say the 3 that I've dealt with, one of them, he really couldn't get me to change my looks. I think I was too old, for the games. But the 2 I dealt with in my younger years, I went from being like very, like, I want to say, yeah, flashy, glam, dressing up, doing certain things, and that did fall off. So some of y'all, what y'all are seeing, y'all talking about, oh, she's wearing a bonnet and she looked like this, she looked that. That's like what happens when you deal with a narcissist. They drain you, one, energetically, but then they'll make little comments, especially if your self-esteem is low. They'll nitpick on why you wearing your hair like that. Oh, that's not attractive. And it sounds like they have this whole religious thing playing with it as well, And I know one of my elders made the comment on the other post that I made that it seems like she's one of those people that's like, oh, I'm happy that I'm the wife. I know women like that. And women like that are a narc's dream. If all you want is to be claimed, whether it's being a girlfriend, being a fiance, being a wife, they will dangle that carrot in front of your face for so long. And if you do things where you tuck yourself or kind of do things that are self-humiliating, like what she sat there and did with him on that couch, they'll give you it's like they give you little doggy treats for doing stuff like that. So you keep doing it because your self-esteem is so raggedy and you have this emotional cord with this person. You'll do anything to keep on like dealing with them. And so what I'm seeing is watching this video, watching her reaction, watching the people's commentary, and seeing the body language, it makes so much sense to me why I infuriate and have infuriated some of the narcissists that I have dealt with in my life. Because one of the things with narcissists is that they do a discard usually at some point. The discard is when they're just like, I don't want you, nobody else is gonna want you, and they try to break up with you or cut you off. That's always temporary because they need you, because narcissists need a supply, right? The 2 to 3 times I have been discarded, well, it might have been 4 total times that I was discarded by one narc twice. So a total of 4 times. But every time I've been discarded by my narcs, only one time did I go back to the narc because I thought they were really apologetic and they were trying to change. But they do this discarding process, right? Because it's supposed to make you like beg to be with them and different stuff like that. And they kind of dangle that in front of you or whatever. So the thing that I've noticed about myself and other people who have dealt with narcissists, now I'm not going to say they're not going to keep trying to do things to you, because I'd be lying if I said that. You kind of got to you have to be very savage about how you cut these people off, because they will try to continue to torment you even after you cut them off, especially if y'all used to be married or y'all have kids, y'all have anything tying y'all together. They will try to continue bothering you. So you have to take very aggressive actions to cut them off. But that's another conversation. But the thing that I did do at some point, I'll say in all of the situations, at least basically once I was discarded, I was done. That is a narc's worst nightmare. Because you're supposed to sit there and beg and cry and plead and try to oh, please be with me. Please, I wanna try to make it work. When you don't sit there, when you don't get in front of your church family and forgive your cheating husband, when you don't keep taking them back because you want to have all your kids by the same person, when you don't lower and publicly humiliate yourself and re-accept them, you take away so much power in them, because again, they're a narcissist. So they really think that they are supposed to be in complete control. They're supposed to run everything. So when they're like, oh, you're ugly, you're fat, I don't want to be with you, you're trash, da 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 da, get away from me, I don't ever want to deal with you again. When they circle back around, because they always do, and you're like, oh no, I'm not dealing with you no more, and I'm about to block your number, If infuriates them on a level that can't even be described. Expect family members to start calling you. Expect weird stuff to start happening. Expect stalking. Expect, I mean, like I said, you have to be very aggressive with drawing the line and cutting them off, because you telling a narc no, like you can't have access to me anymore, is like not feeding somebody. They become very animalistic, and they will do whatever they have to do to try. I mean, I'll say something. I know I've seen male and female narcs do this, so it's not like it's a male thing, but like they just start saying some of the craziest stuff. Like they'll accuse you of anything. I mean, you'll really get to see their true colors when you don't take them back and want to deal with them anymore. But that's how you pretty much don't, what's the word I want to use? Get dragged into the narc's foolishness, really. I mean, once you're in a relationship with them, they're going to try to keep you entrapped anyway. But when you stop giving them the time of day, they go into I don't know how to explain it. But if you go on YouTube and look up psychology videos on narcissism, the thing they tell you to do is to go no contact. And I know that seems like, oh, no contact. They'll do anything to get your attention, because that's what their supply is your attention. She fed him so well by sitting up there on that couch. Like she fed him, like he probably won't harass her for weeks at this point, because she's fed him for weeks just by sitting there and doing that and letting him publicly humiliate her. So he got a lot of fuel from her, energy from her, by him allowing her to publicly humiliate herself. Yes, Sean, they get manic. That's the perfect word for it. They become manic when you stop giving them attention. And they'll try to do anything to like punish you, because they feel like, how dare you not give me attention? So yeah, there's that. So yeah, that whole situation, clearly, it looks very unhealthy. I'm not gonna diagnose anybody or say anybody has anything. I don't know, but it looks very unhealthy, and it just seems like that is, if she wouldn't have done that, there's no telling what he would have done to her. I'll say that. I see a level of fear, and stuff like that, but I said all that to say, it makes sense to me now why the people that I've had to deal with in my life hate me so furiously, because once I've been discarded, I removed myself from the situation. And that's when I became crazy, and then I'm a this and I'm a that, and all these things that I, became, because what I've realized is I will not allow, I feel like most narcissists are sociopathic, Sean. I do. I feel like it's a form of sociopathy. I'm not a psychologist, but I feel like, yeah, because I feel like the way narcissists treat people, you can't have any type of, you don't have empathy. So, it's a level of sociopathy on all levels, but it makes sense to me why I've been called crazy, I've been called this, I've been called that by these certain people, and it makes sense to me now. It makes sense to me now why their girlfriends and partners and wives tend to be so shaky and unstable, and why I infuriate them as well, because it's like, damn, bitch, like, one, I know that they've been told things about me that are untrue, but I also know that I know the level of suffering they're going through, to be really honest, and they don't realize that in a way, I feel bad for them, you know, because I'm like, damn, you got to deal with that, and you're willing to sit around for years and years and years without any type of real public recognition, beyond being like, I know one of my situations with the narc, he kept dangling the marriage fruit in front of me, and you know, he went on and found a new supply, and he's still dangling in front of her, and she's very angry with me, and I'm just like, I feel bad for you, because it's like, I've been there, and I know how you feel. And then some of the other people, just their behavior around me is real weird. But I know that fear. I know that fear of dealing with those people. I know how they really act. And so I be feeling bad for sisters in them situations, because I know they feel like, this is my last chance to have a baby. This is my last chance. Or I finally got the ring. Because it can go beyond. You can actually get the ring and still be getting dragged. I mean, again, at that point, it's the carrot that's dangling in front of your face. They gave you the carrot, and now it's like, whenever they feel like it, they try to snatch it back. Or it becomes a control mechanism, like, I fed you, you know. I know what that's like. I don't know about nothing else. I know about some psychological abuse, and I've experienced it from family members. I've experienced it from men, because I'm heterosexual. So that's all I've dealt with. So I can't speak on it, but I've also seen women do it to other people. So, but the only what you have to do is you have to stop. You got to cut these kind of people off. The worst thing you could do to a narcissist is publicly humiliate them. And, you know, one day I'll tell my story in its entirety. But, stop giving them attention, man. Like, stop giving them attention. Do not get on any type of platform in front of your church. I've seen women do this in front of your church, in front of whomever, and make excuses for somebody else's behavior just because they told you the truth, or you found out, or it's just crazy. And narcissists are really good at putting on a front and acting like they're the good guy. That's how a lot of people overlook it. And the person who's actually being victimized, people call them dumb and different. They're being abused. You know, I feel bad for sis. I'm not even gonna laugh at her. I feel bad for her. I think that he's a hot mess, because I've been there. I've been in that situation, trying to explain my behavior that was a result of their behavior. But then I was the bad guy, because, I've explained myself so many times because of narcissistic abuse, instead of turning up on them like I should have, because I was afraid to do so, because I didn't want to seem like a crazy bitch. But because I've walked away from those people and those situations, I've become a crazy bitch anyway, and I've had to be comfortable and okay with being called those types of names, and their whole family's turning against me, even though they saw how the person treated me, and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, that's usually how we get into these situations, sis, is because we have family members or parents that were or are narcissists. So I totally understand. But yeah, the best thing you could do is to walk away. Do not apologize. Honestly, get therapy, because it's a lot dealing with, like, if I would have known that the pain and the trauma that I was dealing with for most of my 20s was because I spent 2 years engaged to a narcissist, I probably would have healed so much faster. I did not know what was going on with me mentally. I questioned everything about myself. It was just real crazy. That's a whole nother story. But don't give them supply. You might have to lawyer up because these people are crazy. And expect for some of your friends to turn on you when you do cut them off, because they're going to call your friends. They made sure to get close with your friends or a few of your family members, trust me, while y'all were dating, because they're going to use them as a tool when y'all break up. Just be ready for it. Don't care. Move on. Don't be afraid of being called names. Don't be afraid of anything, really. You know, you might even have to get a license to carry. Like, these people are dangerous sometimes. But yeah, I feel bad. If anything, I feel bad for Mrs. Jaxn and women who are like her, and the people that I know that the current narcissists that I've dealt with have dealt with. Yeah, there's no point in trying to tell your side either, because they've already told them that you're crazy, you tried to kill them, you put a knife on them, you took their kids from them, you did this, you did this. There's no point in trying to explain yourself. And that's one of the issues, because when you deal with a narcissist, they train you to over-explain yourself. And I remember I spent so much time trying to explain myself to other people, and he was like, man, nah, he already told me what you did. He already told me this, he already told me. And I would be like, what? There's no point. Move on. Cut them off. Cut their friends off. Cut their mama off. Anybody who, just, there's no point. But I feel bad for women who have to deal with this, because I know what it's like. Get you a therapist and don't turn around. Just know that, just sever every part of your life involving that person. Because it's never going to get better. They're never going to change. They're not sorry. They just want more supply. Been there, done that, got a t-shirt. And I feel bad for her, because she obviously hasn't realized that she's just, to narcissists, you're just supply. You're not a person. You're not the mother of their child. You're not their best friend. You're not their child. You're just supply. And once you realize that, get over it, cry a little tears about it, life will be so much better. And you will spend a lot less energy and time trying to explain yourself and trying to reason with that person. There's nothing to reason about. They don't want to reason with you. They want to take from you. They want to drain you. They want to hurt you. They want to see you suffer, and they want to publicly humiliate you. And that's what Mr. Jaxn was able to get out of his wife. He was able to get all of that in one video. And y'all just pray for sis. Yeah, that over-explaining is a B. I didn't stop over-explaining myself for like 8 or 9 years after dealing with the narc. And I ran into a couple more on the way there, because you kind of, once you're trained to be narc supply, you attract more narcs. It's just crazy. But yeah, that's that. Yeah, there's a lady on YouTube. Her name is Dr. something, and she talks about narcissists. Please watch her. She explains why they act the way they act, why they do what they do. Again, my own family member is blocking me from talking to my grandmother because she is a flying monkey for a narcissist in my life. That's how low these people will go. They're crazy. Yeah, you're a magnet once you're trained. Absolutely, Carol. So that's just how that goes. But once you heal from it, when I tell you they will hate you, they will hate you. Like, I'm telling you, I have people that hate me. They tried to go see witch doctors about me. And I'm just like, you hate me that much, you would spend hundreds of dollars to try to get me, because I will not fold. I will not bend anymore, and I'm no longer supply. And they can't take it. Like, they just can't take it that I'm no longer supply for them. So that's a good sign, because eventually they will wither up and die when they can't get, because I know my energy is great. So I know that they will the fact that they will go to those links, they need my energy that bad. They can't even get this energy nowhere else. But you just have to cut them off. And if you have to deal with them, one word responses until your child is 18. and or until they die, or whatever you need to do, whatever happens. But the just the least amount of energy. Treat them like you treat a stranger on the street. If you have to speak, one word. That's all. Yeah, that's how they usually end up. They usually do end up alone at the end, and it's actually kind of funny. I'm looking forward to that for the narcs that I'm dealing with, if they even make it too much longer, because they need some juice. I don't know where they're gonna get it from. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say about narcissism. Just know if you're infuriating them, you're doing something right. Because if you're pacifying them, one, they're still going to torment you. And then two, you're just going to deplete yourself. And there's no point in that, you know? So that's what I want to say about that. You know, I feel bad for sis. Hopefully this is a wake-up call for her. All right, peace.